Hello, good morning. I am Dr. S.M. Jain, Professor in Microbiology. I welcome all the physiotherapy students in this beginning of the immune system by a brief account of the immunity. Welcome all of you on this online lecture series. Good morning, all of you. I am a microbiology professor and during my 30 years career of microbiology, I have learned that microbiology is essentially to be read by all the, the branches of the science and especially by the medicine related, medicine and allied branches. Why? Because our health and disease both depends upon the microbiological components. One side the microorganisms are there, and the other side immune system is there. There is a constant tug of war between the two. So we need to understand both. We need to understand the microorganisms, and other side we need to understand the immune system. So today I'll give you a very brief account of the immunity, means the power of the body to defend itself is a abstract name given to the power of the body to defend itself. So I welcome all you again in this short account of the beginning of the immunology, the immunity. So let us see what is immunity, what is acquired immunity, what is innate immunity, and what many important aspects of the immunity are there. These few statements I have tried to express the immune system from the existential point of view. To exist, each and every biological organization in the world need to preserve itself for its life. To protect oneself, one need a defense system. Means without a defense system, any organization in the world, any physical or biological system will not be able to maintain its sovereignty. Say, for example, our institution is there, our university is there, our campus is there. So in the campus, we have got a boundary, we have got a fencing, we have got a security force who is working 24 hours, and we, the residents of the campus, are also guarding the campus at times from the detrimental outsider invading forces. So if this is not there, if the wall is not there, if the security force is not there, then the campus or the program medical trust or the organization will shake, will be destroyed soon or so. So each biological organization, especially because it is a very compact and special molecular aggregation, it needs to protect itself. To protect itself, you need a defense system, be it an individual, a house, a societal group, or a nation. There has to be a defense system or a security system. Say, for example, we have got a nation. A nation has got three-tier system for defense: BSF, military, and the police. The three together in unison protect the country and help maintaining its sovereignty. So similarly, the body also has got a three-tier system of defense. The physical barriers, the chemical barriers, non-specific defense cells, and the specific organocellular molecular system, what we call the immune system. So immune system in particular only is not responsible. All the components of the body, they are contributing in the defense system: the skin, the cells, their toughness, their mucous membrane, their chemical, many more things are there. We will see in the following slides. So it is an existential requirement. The immune system or the defense system is an existential requirement of an existence. So those are the few key statements I wanted to give in the beginning. As I said in my earlier statement slides, the immunity is an abstract of the all the powers of the body expressed in the name of the immunity, which means that the body is protected, body is immune, body is safe from the external or internal invading or the injurious agencies. But then the immunity is customarily, arbitrarily divided into two, the innate and acquired immunity. It's very popular to describe the immunity in these two components. So we will see what is innate immunity, what is acquired immunity. Innate, as the word meaning is there, innate means since birth, constitutional. It is the inbuilt property of the system. And the acquired means during the lifetime it has been learned, it is acquired later on. So acquired immunity and the innate immunity are the two important components. Rather, immunity can be divided into two. Again, I am referring to what I have stated before. To understand the defense system of the body, one should keep BSF, military, and police in their minds for the analogies we will see, we can understand. BSF, all of you know, is protecting the border. The border is a point from where the invaders can enter. The military is a pool of the forces which are used if there is any danger to the country. And police is constantly patrolling and doing its functions from inside if there is any breach in the peace and the harmony of the country living. And these these forces are guarding constantly from internal and external invaders. So these systems of the country defense can be paralleled to understand the immune system. So I'll give you an example that the police has got many components. There is a police training system, there is a police headquarter, there is a police chowki. So police chowki or the police station is nothing, but it can be compared to the lymph node. Lymph node is a secondary immune system organ which is working inside the body like the police station, where the culprits are captured and brought together. They are kept in custody, and then they are known to other police stations also by taking the photographs and the wanted list, etc. So police station and lymph nodes are functioning similarly. So that is why I say the parallelism should be used to understand the immune system. Let us see how immunity can be defined. Immunity is the term given to the property of an individual's body by virtue of a complex biological system which empowers the being with the resistance to the inner and outer injurious influences in the form of the microorganisms and mutant cells constantly attacking body from outside and inside. This elaborate definition I have tried to make. You can have your own definition or the book definition, whatever is able to describe the immunity. Then one thing is special is that this property of immunity is intelligent in the sense that it is both already learned and in active learning also almost throughout the life. Already learned means innate immunity, I would refer, the one which is already there. And active learning means one is being learned throughout the life by various experiences of the encounters of the organisms. And we divide this this is customarily into innate and acquired immunities. The term innate and the acquired are being frequently in the study of the immune system. We will see that how they are different from each other. So there are many differences, but I have tried to summarize the differences into 7 points, 7 headings. The first, that the innate immunity, the resistance to infection is there in an individual since birth. So we can say innate immunity is possessed since birth. And the acquired immunity, the resistance to infection, is acquired during lifetime. So first difference, this is the birth since birth and acquired during lifetime. The second difference, the immune response or the protective activities are done within minutes in innate immunity. While it occurs in days, it takes days to begin in acquired immunity. Third difference, say antigen you will read in later lectures. Antigen is a fundamental unit of the reactivity of the immune systems against, say what is the basic tool for which, by which the war is done between the immune system and the microorganism is the antigen. So antigen and antibody you will learn later on. So third difference is that there is no need to have prior exposure to the antigen in innate immunity. While the acquired immunity done is acquired after the antigenic exposure. There is contact of the antigen to the immune system, then the acquired immunity generates. So there is a antigen involved there. No antigen and antigen. The fourth difference, the diversity is limited. Diversity means, say, you can say the weaponry, a sort of weaponry. What types of the tools are there to fight? So the innate immunity system has got a limited diversity. So it acts through a restricted set of reactions. While in the case of the acquired immunity, the reaction uh, response types varies a lot, really a lot. Then the fifth difference, very, very important, immunological memory responses are absent. In innate immunity, there is no memory, and the acquired immunity memory is a property. Last time this organism has entered and disturbed the body, so the body already knows that this organism has disturbed in the past and its response is already prepared powerfully. We will see the difference between the next time and the first time responses later on. But remember, the memory is there in the acquired immunity, memory is not there in innate immunity. Then the sixth difference, they respond to microbial antigen that are not specific to some microbe, rather shared by many microbes, called as microbes associated molecular pattern. So this is related to the mechanism. So all the microorganisms are having certain common components. They are known as MEM or microbes associated molecular patterns. So according to that pattern, the response depends. While the acquired immunity responds specific microbial antigen. Say the responding unit, the unit against which response is generated is more specific, more peculiar in acquired immunity, while it is more general in innate immunity. Then the seventh difference is that this responding cells, the host cells have got host cell receptors. They are non-specific. They recognize the patterns The MAMP is recognized by these receptors, and these receptors, the great examples are toll-like. They are known as toll-like receptors in innate immunity, while in acquired immunity, it is a B cell and T cell repertoire which respond to the various types of the antigens. The repertoire here, you should understand that the body already knows, the genetic apparatus already knows that what all kind of the possible antigen encounter may be there. So in the genes, all those information is there, which is transferred to the immune cells, the T cell, B cell, and they are ready to fight with such antigens. This is a chart which represents the difference between the two immunities, the innate and the acquired. As I said earlier, the anatomical and physiological and biochemical components of the body, they are functioning mostly as a innate immunity component. So the components we can enumerate in the 12 components. The anatomical barriers such as skin and mucosa. Naturally, organism cannot pass through the skin. It needs to penetrate the skin through some hole or something. And to lesser extent, the mucosa also cannot be penetrated. Then the physiological barriers. The organisms, some organisms do not like 37, they like 33, 32, while the body temperature is 37. So physiological barriers like pH, temperature, other things are there. Then there are specialized cells, phagocytes, the neutrophils, macrophages, and monocytes. They phagocytose, they eat the organisms. Similarly, the natural killer cells are there. They are the cells which identify the foreign invader and attaches that to them and then kills them. They are known as NK cells, so the natural killer cells. There are special class of lymphocytes like NK T cell, B1 cells, etc., which do special functions, general function. Then the mast cells, dendritic cells, complement pathways, alternate and mannose binding pathways. You will have a class on the complement. It is a complementary system existing in the body which is assisting the immune and inflammatory functions. Then fever and inflammatory response, they are also innate immunity component. They are acting in general to defend the body. Normal resident flora. Normal resident flora also acts as a defending component. Then the cytokines, the TNF, tumor necrosis factor alpha, certain interleukins, they are all helpful in the innate immunity. Then acute phase reactant proteins like CRP, they also help the body to 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 fight the invaders in an innate manner. Then the acquired immunity components, they are mainly the T cell, B cell, the complement, classical complement pathways, antigen presenting cells, and cytokines. There is further elaboration of all these, but the components are less in number. It's good to remember for you. Then the types of the acquired immunity, say four things are there: active and passive, artificial and natural. If you remember these four terms, then you will be nicely remembering the types of the immunity. So immunity can be either active or passive. Active means the body is participating actively in the acquirement of the immunity, and the passively means it is not trying itself, somebody else is giving the immunity, like the mother or the external immunoglobulin is transferred. Then the artificial and natural means understandable. Artificial means the medical science or the human from outside is trying to give the artificially the immunity. Like the vaccine we give. Vaccine is an artificial way of empowering the body. So artificial and natural. For example, the infection is there. Because of the infection, there is a immune response mounting, and hence the immunity. The body has learned the immunity. So there are differences, different components are there. If we understand about these components, the way they act, it will be good to understand the innate immunity. Through their role, we can understand these immunity components. Innate immunity, I am always surprised to see the power of the innate immunity. Innate immunity, we have already seen so many things about innate immunity. Innate immunity is the power of the body by virtue of the structure and by virtue of the birth, by virtue of the genetic apparatus, by virtue of the nature, by virtue of the thinking. So, all existential factors without the involvement of the active component, they come into the innate immunity. And if your innate immunity is strong, probably the acquired immunity will be helped more. If the enemy does not enter from the first line defense, how come it will come to second line? So you will be more safe. So innate immunity is a structural component, and good innate immunity is good. Say during this corona period, they say that the children get less affected by the coronavirus infection because their innate immunity is stronger than the adults and the olds. So we will understand the innate immunity. I have tried to define innate immunity. Innate immunity is the inborn resistance against infections that an individual possesses right from the birth due to his or her genetic or constitutional makeup. This I like the most, the types of the species, the types of the innate immunity. The innate immunity can be the species immunity, can be racial immunity, can be individual immunity. The term itself is explanatory. Species immunity means innate immunity towards a microbe exhibited by all members of a given species. Best example given in the books is the frogs are resistant to Bacillus anthracis while toads are susceptible. Or you can say rinderpest is a disease of an animal. The dogs, the humans are not getting rinderpest. Many examples are there because of this, the special constitution, specific constitution of that species. The resistance to a particular pathogen is there. The one who has got a very thick skin, how the mosquito will bite, and the mosquito-borne diseases will not be there. So, like that. So, there is a species immunity. Then the racial immunity. To a certain lesser extent, like the differences in the species, there is a differences in these races also. So innate immunity confined to a particular race may be absent in other community, other race. And the example, many examples can be given, but the one example good is that Negroes of the America are more susceptible to tuberculosis than the whites. This is because of the race difference. Then individual immunity, we all know very well. Antimicrobial defense mechanisms that are confined to a particular individual may not be exhibited by other. In a single house, two brothers are there, one is more getting more infections, the other is not. Likewise, you must have seen in your class also, one friend is suffering more, the other is not. So this is because of the individual constitution. However, the identical twins may be exception to this individual immunity because they are exception in many senses, so they may have a similar susceptibility to infections and diseases. This is a very interesting fact that the innate immunity is influenced by so many things. So you can say many things are there in fact, but the factors which are clearly visible are the three factors. I would like to add a few also, but the age. The child is susceptible to some organisms and the olds are susceptible to some other organisms. So the innate immunity varies according to age because we have seen the components of the innate immunity, their strength varies. Say, for example, a chemical secretion which is good in amount in the adults and the children, it may be less in the old. So that will influence the innate immunity. Similarly, hormones. Hormones are the orchestrators of the body physiology. So the hormones they change and the immunity status changes. If you are constantly generating more cortisol and adrenal because of the anxiety states, then you will be more susceptible to infections. So by adding hormone, you should also add in the psychological factors, emotional factors. So emotions influence the hormone and the hormone influence the immunity. Then the nutrition, of course, influences everything. So nutrition is there. The thinking influences it. The genetic apparatus influences it. So all these factors they influence the innate immunity. Now let us see the mechanism of innate immunity. That is how it operates. So the most important is receptor interaction. Following the exposure of the microorganism, several mediators of innate immunity are recruited to the site of infection. And this exposure, after the exposure, the first step that takes place is attachment. And this attachment involves binding of the surface molecules of the microorganisms to the receptors of the cells of the innate immunity. So now we can see at the beginning of the induction of the mechanism, two things are there. One is the attaching mechanism to the innate immunity cells, and second is the inbuilt recognizable molecules on the surface of the microorganisms. Let us see what is there on the two sides, on the microbial side and on the body side. So on the microbial side, there are microbial surface molecules. These are known as MEMPs, M-A-M-P-S, MEMPs, M-A-M-P. So these MEMPs, what are these MEMPs? They are repeating patterns of conjugate molecules which are common to most microbial surfaces, and these are known as microbes associated molecular patterns or MEMS. What is this conjugate molecules? Conjugate molecules means those molecules which are signaled through the genetic code which is preserved naturally from generations. So they are essential molecule present due to presence of their code in their genes. So they are there. They are there in many or most microbes. So they are known as MEMS. Examples are peptidoglycan, lipopolysaccharide, teichoic acid, lipoproteins, etc., those are present on the bacterial surface. We know that the bacterial surface is made up of these chemical compounds. So they are known as MEMS. The second part means the host side. This was from agent side. Host side is PRRs. That is pattern recognition receptors. So we have seen that MEMS are the patterns on the surface of the microbes. And what are these PRRs? Molecules present on the surface of host cells that recognize MEMS is PRR. These PRRs are
conjured regions encoded by germline genes, and toll-like receptors. Toll-like receptors are the classical example of pattern recognition receptors. So the pattern recognition receptors or PRRs are there, and the toll-like receptors are the common PRRs. So PRRs common are TLRs. These TLR, as we have seen, that they bind to the MEMS. So the TLR on the host cell binds to the molecules on the bacteria. Now, by this binding, signals are generated. Signals in the cells. From the binding, the signal is introduced. And these signals activate transcription factors. And the stimulated transcription factor stimulates expression of genes encoding cytokines and enzymes. And these cytokines and enzymes, they have got antimicrobial activity. So there is a cascade, there is a chain of the reactions one after another. The bacteria enters, it has got a MEM, and the MEM is recognized by PRR. The PRR and MEM binding generates signal activates transcription factor, and transcription factor stimulate gene, and the gene produce cytokines and enzymes. And these cytokines and enzymes have got antimicrobial activity. The most important subscription transcription factor activated by TLR signal are the nuclear factors kappa beta, and this nuclear factor promotes production of cytokines, and another is interferon regulatory factor IRF. This stimulates expression of the antiviral interferon alpha and beta. Something about these toll-like receptors. We have seen that the toll-like receptors are the PRRs through which the body does the recognition and attachment to the MEMS of the bacteria. This name has been derived from the toll-like receptors present in the fruit fly, Drosophila, where it is the main receptor for the induction of innate immunity. So from that the term is picked up. Otherwise, nothing to do with the name. Nomenclature is some things like this. There are 13 types of the toll-like receptors, TLR 1 to 13. And some of the important ones are these TLR 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. And they are specifically binding to some MEMS. So TLR2 binds to bacterial peptidoglycan, TLR3 binds to dsDNA of viruses, TLR4 binds to LPS, lipopolysaccharide of gram-negative bacteria, TLR5 binds to flagella of the bacteria, TLR7 and 8 binds to ssRNA of the viruses, and TLR9 binds to bacterial DNA. Then the next type of the immunity is acquired immunity. Although both types of the immunities are smart, which is important, but then acquired immunity is studied in a more extensive manner. It is a vast portion of the immune powers. Acquired immunity occupies the major portion of the immunity, and the immune system we are studying is more reserved, allotted to the acquired immunity. The acquired immunity, what you must have heard about the T cell, B cell, the antibodies, and this is all acquired immunity component. We have seen acquired immunity is learned later in the life. It is a specific type of the immunity because of the so many structures and functions and organs of the immune system. We have seen the differences between the acquired and innate immunity. We have already seen that the main thing in the acquired immunity is that it is learned throughout the life. There are many types, or for the description or understanding, the acquired immunity is divided into certain classes, certain types. So this understanding is very much essential for all the students of the medicine and allied things. The first thing is that it can be active and passive. So acquired immunity can be active or passive. Active, as you understand, actively body is participating in the acquirement of the immunity. Passive immunity means passive. Body is not doing anything. Body is receiving ready-made things. Then the active and post passive both, they can be artificial or natural. So now we have got four classes. So active natural, passive natural, active artificial, passive artificial. And as we have seen, active is that is acquired due to a natural microbial infection. That is active natural. Then passive natural means passive natural is from the mother to the child. Maternal antibodies in colostrum, for example. Then active artificial means vaccination. When you give a vaccine, the body actively participates, learns the microorganism and actively participates and specifically mounts the immune response. One vaccine, then another vaccine, third dose, then the reaction is progressively smarter and stronger, and the memory cells are formed. Then the fourth one is passive artificial. Passive artificial, in that passive artificial, the things are given from outside, ready-made things. For example, a specific anti-sera are given in some disease in post-prophylactic uh, prevention. For example, anti-diphtheric serum, which is given. So the active immunity, we have seen that this is the acquirement of the immunity by active participation of the body into it. Now, what are the characters? The characters of the active immunity. The first thing is that it is usually long lasting. You must have heard that he or she has got some particular infection in childhood or later. Now he or she is no more having that infection. This is because he or she is infected, the body has learned the organism and has mounted for almost lifelong response for that organism. But then the protectiveness of this response of active immunity has got a variation depending upon the organism. So there is this whole spectrum of the protectiveness of the active immunity depending upon the agent and host, which host is taking when. In old age, if you first time expose the person, it may not respond very well. The active immunity cannot necessarily participate in that manner. So long lasting is the character of the active immunity. Then a very important character of the active immunity is that there are primary and secondary immune responses. Means for the first time, when the antigen or microorganism, when we microbiology or immunology people say antigen, that is mostly meaning the microorganism or microorganism part. So when the first encounter is there, the response is there. That response which occurs after first exposure is known as primary immune response. And this is classically studied in the antibody levels. So first response is slow, slight and short-lived. This 3S, if you remember, you will understand. Slow means it takes some time. Few days it takes. Then slight means it is not that strong. because it is the beginning of the response, and short-lived. Relatively, that response is finished within less days, short-lived. Then secondary immune response means when you next time expose, further next time expose, it is prompt, powerful, and prolonged. Prompt means it is mounted, it is ready within few minutes of the days. Powerful means it's very strong, and prolonged means stays for long time. So this is the character of the active immunity. Then the passive immunity, we have seen the contrast when the body is not involved actively in acquirement of the immunity and the ready-made protection material is transferred passively, it is known as passive immunity. Passive immunity, as we understand, is passively transferred. Passively word is explanatory. Same with the similar to the active immunity, there are characters of the passive immunity also. So when the full immunization is there, the active immunity is long lasting, but this is usually short lasting, but immediately effective. Immediately the protective material is there for action in the body, which is useful in immunodeficient persons and post-exposure prophylaxis. Then there is no immunological memory in comparison to the active immunity. And in comparison to the active immunity, the boosters are not effective. There are no roles of the boosters. So you have learned innate immunity, acquired immunity, two wings of the immune system, immunity. But then, is it a completely separate, different compartment of the two, or they are working in unison? So there are bridges between the two. So innate immunity and acquired immune system do not work independently, but they are doing so in highly interactive and collaborative manner, increasing each other's efficiency to give combined and more effective response. So, for example, certain immune components are shared by both, say macrophages, dendritic cells, ADCC, complement cytokines, and some rare class of the lymphocytes. These all they they do their duty for both. They work for both types of the system, acquired as well as innate system. Then there are other types of the immunity also. Uh, Few of them are that the local or mucosal immunity. The name is suggestive of the type of immunity. Mucosal means the intestinal, the respiratory, the urogenital mucosa. These mucosa are additionally resistant for the entry of the microorganisms which are frequently or which have tried to cross this barrier. So there is a trial from organism to cross these, and there is a recognition of the those organisms, and then there is secretion of uh, the cells, secretion of the secretion of the immunoglobulin A. See, there are five types of the immunoglobulins. The one which is acting on the surface, mucosal surface, is IgA. The others are G, M, D, E. So A, IgA, which is working on the mucosal surfaces or mixed with the mucosa to guard the entry, like BSF. So the local immunity means the immunity operative through the IgA antibodies at the mucosal surfaces of the respiratory, intestinal and genitourinary mucosa. So this is local immunity or mucosal immunity. Then the herd immunity. You must have already heard a lot about the herd immunity in this corona pandemic time. What is this herd immunity? You know, herd is a group of similar animals. We know that there is a herd of beasts, herd of lions, and so on. So these herds, they are susceptible to or immune to certain diseases. So when the herd is immune to certain disease, it is known as herd immunity. This is important. This is very important in the occurrence or the spread of the epidemic or pandemic. Herd immunity means many people of that herd are immune to that disease. The infection has occurred, they are have mounted the active immune response and they are immune to that. So many people in the herd are immune to that particular disease. If many people are immune, then what will happen? The easily person to person transmission of that disease will not be able to occur. So that is the advantage. After a certain number of people in the community found immune to that, the herd immunity is operative. So, for example, we are 10 people. The infection came to first person who is susceptible to the that particular infection. He became disease, he got a disease. But the second, third, and fourth person is not getting the infection, they are immune to this organism. So, what will happen? The organism will not be able to transmit from first to second, third, fourth persons. So, there will not be any transmission. So, I'll try to explain this during this pandemic, corona pandemic. Say, corona is there, corona transmission is there from person to person. One person is suffering, he or she transmits the infection, but the infection is not being caught by the people in his or her house or in the community. What is the further scenario of that infection? It will not spread. So if more and more people become infected and immune, then there will be herd immunity for corona. Now, this can be achieved by two things rather. One is that people are vaccinated deliberately. By vaccination, we induce the active artificial immunity in the persons. Then it will be going toward the herd immunity. Second is that more and more people get infected with the clinical outcome or non-clinical outcome, and there will be a good number of masses, 60%, 70% of the people on this world, they are immune to corona, then corona will no more be able to progress forward and the epidemic will shut down, will slow down and finish ultimately. So that is herd immunity, very important in scenarios like epidemics and pandemics. Then adaptive immunity. This is a special kind of the immunity where cell-mediated immunity is involved. I have I have told or not, I don't remember, but there are two types of the responses: cell-mediated immune response and the antibody-mediated cell response. The humoral immunity and the cell-mediated immunity. So humoral means where antibodies are involved primarily. Cellular means where cells are involved, like the artillery and the infantry in the military. You know, there are two wings of the military, one is artillery and another is infantry. Infantry soldiers with the guns, they fight. Artillery means the tanks, etc., they fire bullets. So antibodies are like bullets. So normally bullets are fired towards the bacteria, that is humoral immunity or antibody-mediated immunity. The cellular immunity where cells directly go to the organism and kill the organism. So in diseases like leprosy, lepromatous leprosy, the cell-mediated immunity is deficient. So in those cases, the ready-made activated cells of the immune system are given to that patient. and such immunity is known as adaptive immunity. So, thank you very much, all the students, for patiently listening. This statement is so funny because I know whatever you are doing, you are listening or not listening, but then this was a very brief and an abstract of the account of the immunity. Thank you once again.